Imagine living a life where fear no longer weighs you down, where regret no longer haunts your steps, and the constant craving for others' approval no longer holds you hostage. Picture a life in which your happiness isn't tied to external things, where peace doesn't come from possessions or people, but from something far deeper, far more lasting. This is the essence of true freedom, the kind that blossoms through detachment. In our endless quest for happiness, we often chase after the very things that end up enslaving us. We hold tightly to relationships, careers, status, and outcomes, believing they will deliver peace. But ironically, it's this very act of clinging that wraps us in chains. It binds us to a cycle of craving, frustration, and suffering. But what if there was another way? What if, instead of tightening our grip on what's fleeting, we could learn to let go? What if peace wasn't something to be earned, but something to be uncovered in the here and now? Today, we delve deep into the profound teachings of Buddhism, exploring how the act of letting go, of detachment, can unlock a life of lasting peace, profound clarity, and inner liberation. In the teachings of the Buddha, attachment isn't just about owning things. It's a deep emotional dependence on people, objects, and outcomes we believe are essential to our happiness. But the Buddha, with clarity and compassion, revealed a profound truth, that attachment is the very root, the core, of all suffering. This craving causes us to cling, to desire constantly, and with every desire comes the shadow of disappointment. Because once we believe our peace lies outside ourselves, we give away our power. We become fragile, our joy becoming dependent on the changing tides of life. And when those things shift, as they always do, we suffer. One of Buddhism's most transformative teachings is impermanence, or anicca. It teaches us that all things, people, possessions, emotions, even moments, are in a constant state of change. Nothing lasts forever. The people we love will grow and change, the possessions we treasure will deteriorate, and the goals we pursue may shift or vanish altogether. Yet, we so often fall for the illusion that these things are permanent. We convince ourselves that holding on will protect our happiness, that attachment guarantees joy. But the Buddha's wisdom tells another story. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. The truth is, when we become attached to what is by nature fleeting, we set ourselves up for inevitable heartache. But there's more. Attachment also arises from a subtle yet intense desire to control life, to direct outcomes, manage others, and sculpt every detail of our future. We want certainty, we want predictability. But life, much like a flowing river, refuses to be tamed. It cannot be boxed, controlled, or fully understood. Buddha's insight encourages us to surrender this desperate need for control, because the illusion of control is just that, an illusion. Real peace arrives when we loosen our grip, when we stop trying to steer every wave and instead learn to navigate with the current. The root of our suffering, as the Buddha so beautifully put it, is the attachment to control, our resistance to uncertainty. Now, detachment in Buddhist thought doesn't mean cold indifference. It's not about rejecting life or withdrawing from love. It's about letting go of the need for specific outcomes. It's about showing up fully in the present moment without allowing our joy to be tied to how things unfold. When we practice detachment, we aren't giving up on life. We are releasing the suffering that comes from trying to own it. True detachment means loosening our grip on desire and expectation. It means being fully present, living from a heart unshaken by the ups and downs of life. Buddha himself reached enlightenment by walking this path, by letting go of the illusion of permanence and control. You may be asking, how can we practice this detachment in our modern, chaotic lives? The journey begins with mindfulness, with developing the ability to notice our thoughts, cravings, and emotional hooks without immediately reacting to them. When we start to witness how deeply our attachments are embedded, whether in relationships, ambitions, or ideals, we can slowly begin to soften their hold. Through meditation, we create a sacred space within ourselves, one that allows us to observe rather than be overwhelmed by our desires. We begin to cultivate clarity, and with clarity comes peace. Detachment doesn't mean we stop loving, dreaming, or caring. It means we learn to love without clinging, to dream without being consumed, and to care without losing ourselves. It's the art of holding life gently, not with a closed fist, but with an open palm. It's not about apathy, it's about acceptance. When we let go of attachments, we begin to experience a freedom that no possession, person, or outcome can offer. We find peace not because everything is perfect, but because we are no longer trapped by our longing for it to be so. The Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to," and in those few words lies a world of wisdom. By releasing what we cling to, we uncover a freedom that has always been within us. So take a moment today, pause, and reflect. Where in your life are you holding on too tightly? To whom or what are you attaching your sense of worth or happiness? And most importantly, what might you discover if you simply let go? In a world that constantly pulls us toward more success, more control, more validation, detachment offers a radical kind of peace. It reminds us that happiness doesn't live outside of us. It doesn't come from having or doing. It arises from being. In this space, this stillness, we find clarity, we discover joy, and most of all, we experience a profound inner freedom. If this wisdom resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more insights on living a life rooted in peace, presence, and deep clarity.